Good morning, everybody. Today I have Dan with me from Do Good Grants, and we're going to start off doing the fun thing where we sing a little bit of one of his favorite songs. So, ready?
A little ditty. Let's go.
1, 2, 3. I am letting go of the things that don't serve me no more. 'Cause I am holy and sacred and righteous and true, and I deserve to be here, and so do you. All right, cool. So that song is by Satsang and called I Am.
Yeah.
And you want to tell everyone why you like that song so much?
Yeah, well, I mean, you introduced me to the artist. This was a while ago, and I had started to listen to a few of the songs, and this one in particular kind of spoke to me. I mean, the lyrics about overcoming, being resilient, being good to yourself, they really just kind of spoke to me in a way that no other song has in a while. So I really latched onto it, and it really gives me inspiration, it brings me peace, and it gives me optimism for the world at large today.
Yeah, and it's I noticed like you play that on Pandora often, right? Satsang Radio.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like a lot of their songs and lyrics, and then relative artists. It's just very uplifting music, and yeah, Dan likes to play it some of the mornings when we're getting ready, and good start to the day. So
very.
Yeah, I'm glad you like them. All right, cool. So I'm gonna try to do less commentary. I mean, Dan and I could talk forever, and in these videos of getting to know people a little bit, we could go on and on, but when you try to share these things on LinkedIn and YouTube, you know, they like things to be shorter. So yeah, if you ever like conversations, like come hang out with us so things can be a little bit more, no limits to these things. But for the sake of sharing just a little bit about Dan and Do Good Grants, I'll try to keep it shorter today. So what is something about you that people might not know, like a passion, a hobby, or interest that really lights you up?
Passion, hobby, interest. I don't know if it's well known, but I guess for folks that don't know me very well, I mean, travel has always been super important for me and for you and for all of us. I mean, I grew up in a family that traveled a lot. My dad worked for the airlines. My mom was a flight attendant, so that's how they met. So we've really been traveling from a young age. But something you wouldn't know about me is I was very, very homesick as a child. I didn't like going far distances and didn't like being without my parents, you know, my brother. I would really have an anxious response to that, and I was that kid that at the sleepover that called mom and dad to come pick me up before, you know, when everybody was going to bed. So I was that kid, but that's really kind of been turned on its head and given a little bit of 180, you know, recently. I love to be kind of out in the outdoors, but also traveling any way, shape, or form. Planes, trains, automobiles. I mean, I've done it all. We've done it all together, and it gives me a really sense of purpose. It's very, very character building for me. So I would say just the act of travel alone is something that if you didn't know me, I could talk about for ages and give advice or just share stories of what I've been through, what we've been through together, and how it's kind of built my personality.
Yeah, and I definitely invite anyone to get to know Dan better, you know, at all these different events that we go to, or just set up a time to have coffee and meet with him or us. But yeah, travel is near and dear to both of us. Yeah, and I would love for people, maybe at some point we'll have to do like a separate video so you can share more about the RV life and what you did with that, because
Sure.
I feel like those are some amazing chapters that you had, and then yeah, we got to experience that together. So I'll let that be for another time. But yeah, travel is just so amazing and healing, and you know, I talked about it with other people. I just feel like it's one of the best parts of this life is to explore and get to see more of the world. All right, but in the spirit of moving along, I'm gonna go back if we want to do another song, but to stick with the travel theme.
Yeah.
Is there a place you've traveled that really stayed with you, and what made that experience meaningful? And I know there's several. It's hard to pick just one. But if you had to pick one just for today, what's one place that is just so special to you, and why? Like,
Before I get to that place, I will say that the 2023 road trip that we took together with the two cats was very, very inspirational, kind of life changing for me. Just traveling along. I mean, we went north. We did so many states. We did 3-4 months on the Oregon coast and just got to see the Pacific Northwest for what it is. And it was just an amazing experience for me. But I would say also, and this goes back to childhood, visiting the Hawaiian Islands, having that aloha spirit and feeling of ohana, family togetherness was great. And then our experiences together with the Hawaiian Islands and visiting most of the different islands I think we've hit. There's maybe a couple that we haven't hit together, but I mean, the feeling when you step off the plane and the wind hits your face, and that cool, that coolness of the breeze, but the heat of the day and the moisture in the air, the smells in the air too, of every good thing. I think those experiences with my family, and then of course with you, just have been really, really great to experience, and something that I will never, will stay with me.
Yeah, I love, that's another thing. We could talk forever about Hawaii itself, because it's just so, for anyone that hasn't been, that's been something, a place you would like to go, I encourage you to go. I feel like any of the islands are special and amazing for their own reason, but yeah, we'll talk more about Hawaii maybe in another video. And then going into wellness habit or routine, we talked about it in the last video we did with you, but what's a habit or ritual that you practice daily or weekly that really helps you, stay healthy and well?
Yeah, I would say staying consistent with something wellness related has been a challenge for me. Even having people like yourself being there to support and providing information and reminders about to take better care of myself, mind, body, spirit. I still struggle with being consistent with it. But as I told you, I would say it's not really like a wellness routine, but it also is the warmth and the cuddles and the connection that we have to our cats, and to animals in general. I think it's really healing for me to, at the beginning of the day or the end of the day, to pet the cats, cuddle with the cats, show them love, show them attention, provide for them, but also they provide for us at the same time. They give us that nurturing and that like effect where I feel like I can stop thinking about work or stop stressing about whatever I'm thinking about that I have to do, and just be with the animal, be with our cats, and calm down and go a little bit slower. So that's always a healing experience for me.
Yeah. I mean, they really are. Since we don't have human kids, they're the next. They're like humans to us, and we love them so much, and they do provide so much love and healing and calmness, and like a break away from whatever we have going on mentally or that to-do list. I'm so grateful for them.
Me too.
And because I mean, even though I love wellness, I'm into wellness. I mean, we all can work on consistency, and that's what I love about, whether it's you or someone else, like holding me accountable. As much as I like to remind you to try to, make sure you're taking care of yourself, like I like it when people remind me also, because a lot of us tend to, we know all the answers, but we tend to get caught up in like that list of things that we need to do. So I think like friendly reminders, when the intent is coming from a good place, to remind each other to take better care of ourselves is really important. And I value when people remind me, because I myself need those reminders, and consistency is hard, but it is key. Okay, so going now, a little bit into what you've created, and I know it's been, a long time coming, kind of like my business, where all these ideas and all these things, and you were really an inspiration to me to finally make my business a reality in January, because I saw that you were making things happen and moving forward with yours, with Do Good Grants Co. So thank you for being, talk about accountability. I saw what you were doing and I was like, okay, my mind was overwhelmed with all the creative ideas and things I wanted to do. And I just, okay, let me just go get that FBN, that will really help me kind of catapult and baby steps into all the things I still want to create and build. But can you tell everyone, people that don't know, a little bit about what Do Good Grants Co. is and what drew you to it and what keeps you passionate about it today? Like, however you want to capture Do Good Grants Co. so people can understand more about what you do.
Yeah, it came out of a little bit out of necessity. I was in a career where I was developing content for a global HR firm, and I was ghostwriting for executives. I was putting together articles, research reports, posting on WordPress website, and I thought that would be the future and building something sustainable there. But life and my professional I guess my professional endeavors had something else in mind. So there was a restructuring with the company in 2024, and I had to figure out what I wanted to do next. And I had worked for nonprofits before, and mostly as a career coach and workforce development person. And I really just wanted to take my proposal writing skills and also my love for drafting content and the written word and do something great with it. So a buddy of mine, Evan, who was working for the San Diego County at that time, he had started an Upwork business with RFPs and proposals, and I knew of him and I knew that I wanted to learn more about that. So he kind of took me under his wing and kind of showed me the ropes on what professional nonprofit grant writing was, and how these grants are out there with foundations, with states, even with the federal, and understanding how to approach that, how to draft those proposals and draft that narrative, how to find the opportunities and bring those to people that are in need. So that's kind of really how it was. Do Good Grants Co. was born out of just a necessity and starting small with Evan, contracting with him, and then growing and scaling a little bit from there.
Yeah, and I mean, again, those side conversations you have with people, but it's been great to see how you built this business and how you have different contracts and partnerships and people that you're helping on very different levels. I just love to see that, like, something you're so good at and passionate about, and you're helping others doing it, and then working with organizations and nonprofits that are meaningful in the world, in the community, but also to you, and seeing how you're helping them has been really inspirational for me.
Yeah.
Just reminding, of course I have to remind him, like, take a break, because Dan is always on his computer and making things happen, and I'm like, you gotta breathe, and you gotta take those breaks, because they are good for us, they help us.
Yeah, I want to do good work. I want to do right by my clients, but also keep on growing in the profession and keep on learning new things. There's always something new to learn. It seems like there's always another course or another workshop or another conference for nonprofits and small businesses. I mean, there's 13,000 nonprofits here locally in San Diego. So there's a lot of people out there that want to do good, that maybe need some guidance and some support there. And I feel like I have a responsibility, now that I know kind of what's up and what's going on, to steer them in the right direction and make sure that they're doing things in the proper order, but also something that's sustainable, not just going after grants in like a whimsical, non-strategic type of way, like let's chase this, let's chase that. No, let's stop, think, let's build a grant readiness, let's build that grant readiness and organizational documents first. Then let's go and build a pipeline of grants that are aligned, foundations, state grants, federal, and systematically go after that funding and make sure that you are doing this thing first, and then second. It's really a project manager type of role that you step into as a grant consultant, and it's something that I've really found passion in. And I'm not only going and doing this work for myself, but it's going to have a tenfold impact on these organizations that I'm helping to fund.
Yeah, and you know, maybe I'm biased because I love Dan so much as a human, but like I've seen how he does the work he's doing with Do Good Grants Co. and how he's helping people, and I feel like everything, but especially this line of work, like having the intention, like the good intention on helping people and the strategy to get funding matters. And you know, it's like I don't know really anything about grants the way Dan does, but to see how you are going about it and helping people from a standpoint of like how I don't know, it's hard for me to put it into words, but I do really feel like yeah, every business needs funding and you need money, right, to sustain and to make things happen. But it really is like, what is the intention? And to see how Dan is helping people to get the funding, but from a good place and not just a monetary only focus, I think is really important. And I like that you're helping people do that and that you have such a care, like you really care. And I see that on the back end and the operation side of what he's doing. So I'm just glad that you have like such a good heart to make that happen for people.
How we doing on time?
I'm not sure, but we have a couple more questions.
Okay.
A reflection like inspiration. If someone listening today needed a little encouragement, what message, whether that's encouragement, personally, professionally, both, what message would you want to leave them with?
Yeah, I would say it's an oldie but a goodie, but something that I've learned that I haven't necessarily been great at over the years, especially in my professional career, is never give up. I think you can experiment with doing a whole bunch of different things, which I have in my professional career, and I think I've landed on something that is going to stick, and just being able to be creative and evolve that. And it might not look like you want it to look, or it might not happen in the time frame that you thought it would happen, but just be open and optimistic to doing different things and kind of letting the creative part of you out, but also as you go along. You know, I thought that content and that global HR firm was going to be my career, and then it happened that it wasn't. So you really had to kind of trust yourself and build the resilience, but also be open to different new things, and just like never give up on yourself. I guess in a roundabout way, never give up on yourself, your skills, what you can provide the world, and continue to kind of evolve that.
Yeah, and like we all, you know, just move forward. And I try to look at those things, especially with the job situation, because I feel like we all of us at some point in our lives have experienced being laid off or fired, or you know, just thought that job or career or whatever that focus was going to be the thing. And you know, that's why we like the song The Never Ending Story, because it's like we're all constantly growing and learning and progressing and practicing to make progress. We're not perfect. And I like, for me, with the job situation, it's like as hard or difficult or as traumatic as certain situations have been, to see the silver lining that when that door closes, even if it wasn't on our own volition and maybe we were caught by surprise and blindsided by something, there clearly is something better for us if we are, you know, if we listen to our heart and really focus on what matters to us. And it's really, I mean, whether it's a job, a person, and whatever it is, it's like it served its purpose for as long as it did. And it's like your loss, you know, moving forward and on to better things. And I feel like we both have moved on to better things. Every year.
Yeah, forgive the situation, forgive yourself with whatever happens, and if you do that, you'll be able to move forward, I think, better than you would if you continue to be angry and stew and be like, why me? Why did this happen? Of course, you have to have some of that, because that's part of the grieving and the healing process. But yeah, being able to move on and move past that is good.
Yeah, thank you for that reminder, because I feel like I tend to ruminate over things, how could have been different.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, forgiveness of the entire thing and then moving forward is really like, that's key.
Yeah.
All right, so contact, follow up, how do people find you?
I would say the website is a work in progress, but for me, I'm doing a lot of networking on LinkedIn right now. So if you just search my name, Dan, and then the last name is Kreft, Krefft, like Frank Tom, like I tell people, you'll be able to find me. And I'll do posts. Like I want to post more, taking inspiration from Katie and her posting. So I want to share more. I want to be on there more, juggling that with, my clients and time wise, making sure that I take good care of them, but also continue with my personal brand, continue building that and sharing that with the world. So yeah, you can find me there.
Awesome Blossom. And then if you really can't figure out how to find him, reach out to me. And yeah, I mean, I'll be tagging him in these posts, easy connection. So I'll be posting this video on YouTube as well as LinkedIn. And then one last thing to make it a little fun, I'm gonna ask you about in a second. What's that song I've been asking you about? By who? And to get you pumped up. So a little bit different than the Sat Sang song. This you told me earlier.
Oh, what the Fugees, Lauryn Hill, Ready or Not. I heard it on the radio recently, and I was
Ready
just like,
or not.
Yeah, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly. I think it's a pump up song because it's like ready or not world. Here we come. We're gonna find you. You can't hide from us. We're gonna find you, and we're gonna win it.
Make things happen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing this with me today.
Welcome.
More of these interviews to come. It's just meant to get to know people a little better, making it fun, light and breezy, and have a good rest of the week, everyone. Take it easy. Bye.